Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I would like to thank Khun Tarat for inviting me this morning to share with you the concept of, in fact, applied or dynamic systems thinking. It is very much related to knowledge management and innovation, and we shall share some of this insight as I go along this morning. So I'm very privileged, ladies and gentlemen, to be here to share with you what are the work that we have done in Malaysia. I represent the Malaysian Institute of Management. And over the last 43 years, we have been training our Malaysian managers. Malaysia's economy, what is it today, has been done by a number of institutional, what we call training center. The Malaysian Institute of Management is a not-for-profit, and over the last 43 years, since our independence, we have trained about 400,000 over managers and employees. So today, many of our managers are helming, the large organization, the government organization, have actually been trained by the Malaysian Institute of Management. And I understand that Thailand is also, you're trying to get your Institute of Public Administration and your Institute of Management. Now, over the years that we have done research, and we are a very practical institution, not like the university. Many of the students come to us. We actually cater for practicing manager. It's a community of practitioners that we look after. And as you know, Malaysia, like Thailand, has moved over through several eras of economic development, firstly from agriculture to the production economy to the knowledge economy. And I subscribe that, today we have moved beyond the knowledge economy. We have now moved into what we call the innovation economy. And very much so, system thinking or applied system thinking or dynamics of system thinking, it's very much integral of knowledge management, and we will share with you. And not only that, it is very important. Although we are all system, even ourselves is a form of a system, but many people still do not practice system thinking. While there's a lot being done, but I think more can still be done. So we will share this, this morning. So my talk will be perhaps maybe an hour, a little bit, and I hope that, if at the end of it there's time for Q&A, we can share the dialogue, we can share the conversation. So my topic this morning is dynamic system thinking, and it's also applied system thinking, and how, in fact, it can enhance our own individual and organizational performance, and I maintain can also save the world. And in fact, this morning we just shared with Professor Karit is that we looking at CSR, as a system approach in terms of how we can actually develop sustainable organization into the future. So these are the areas, ladies and gentlemen, that I'll be, sharing with you. We look at firstly a definition of system. Then we'll talk a little bit about the systems concept and what is dynamic systems thinking, DST, or applied system thinking. And then we will also look at the benefits of systems thinking and maybe look at some examples, some organizational examples that we have already applied systems thinking. Learning organization is a system approach, yeah? And the fifth discipline by Professor Peter Senge of MIT. We'll talk a little bit about that. And I'll talk about KM as well. We have a model. With Mr. Christopher Chan, about 8 years ago, we researched a model called transformance. Very similar. The core of it is the SESI model, right? It's based, and you're very familiar last year that we have Professor, Hirotaka Taguchi. He's one of my gurus, so to speak, that I've been following. And many of you who have been doing KM, you will know some of the gurus of the different countries. Thomas Stewart in the US. Canada is Hubert Sengong. You have Carl Survivy, basically from Sweden. You have Leif Benson, also from the European, from Sweden. Of course, Dr. Carl Survivy has now gone to Brisbane. He's now, in Australia. And you have Malhotra as well. There are a lot of great KM practitioners. Today, it's actually, he has become a wave that, people cannot avoid. So we'll study some of their thinking. And then also, the McKinsey 5-7S. I'll talk a little bit about why it's a systemic approach to organizational development and, in fact, strategic planning. And then we'll look also at quality, the quality system, and And finally, corporate social responsibility. Then we'll look at system imbalances. In system approach, when the systems get into an imbalance, what are the consequences? What are the implications it actually throws out? And finally, we will have we'll look at a case study. There are several case studies that I've been involved in, but one which is a Japanese company that has adopted a system thinking towards how they are also going to develop their strategy to maintain sustainable business into the future. All right? Is that okay with you? So this will be the outline we'll go through. And finally, some conclusion and then some Q&A. Right, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you have seen this picture before? Put up your hand. Okay, so if you can bear with me, right, for those of you who have seen this picture, I would just want to illustrate a point which is very related close to system thinking and the way our left brain and right brain thinks as well. All right? Now, I saw the video of Professor Takeuchi last year. How many of you were at this conference last year when you heard Professor Itaro Takeuchi spoke? Not many of you? Actually, he has a test. So this is my test as well. Right? So he had the test and he showed a number of symbols. He had, in fact, a square, and then he had also had a Z, and then he had a triangle, and also a 0. Now, at the last year's conference, there were only 4 people who identified the square box. And the square represent very intelligent people. So in the conference, in the hall, he said there were only actually 4 intelligent people. So he had to repackage his seminar or his talk, to that 4 people. But many of them picked up the 0. So he said the 0 were those people who were obsessed with sex and booze. All right? So, of course, it must be a liberal society. But this image, this picture, ladies and gentlemen, what is the first thing that comes, to your eyes? What can you see in this picture? There's an old gentleman there. Is there an old gentleman? Can you all see that? Who can see the old gentleman? Can we have a show of hands? Thank you very much. Now, who is this old gentleman? Einstein, isn't it? And he came up with what? E equals to mc squared, right? He discovered the atomic, energy. And very interesting. And he was actually practicing in a form of systemic thinking already. Einstein, as you know, was a very intelligent people, but he left, basically, he bombed out of uni. You could not, like a lot of great people who haven't finished university, but very, very clever. And he discovered E equals to mc squared. He said this,